WJOP Radio, WJOP LP, Newburyport. And good morning and welcome in. Damon here on WJOP Radio. We also have with us on Comcast Channel 9, we have Newburyport City Marshal Mark Murray. And Mark, welcome in.
Good morning, Wynn.
It's nice to have you here, and I haven't seen you yet this year.
Right. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you. So we're off and running, and a brand new year. And tell us a little bit about what happened over the Christmas weekend. I know that Christmas weekend or Christmas week actually it takes a little bit of time, but is it a little tough to get officers to cover a shift when they want to be home and be with their family? Yeah.
Yeah, that was a tough cold snap, but we survived it.
Yeah, it is. It's got to be really tough to handle that stuff. Now, how do you stay warm in situations like that?
Dress for it.
Yeah.
Hand warmers, feet warmers. Same as skiing.
Oh, okay.
Same type of deal. They have a lot of good clothing that they can purchase, obviously, and a lot of Gore-Tex stuff, things like that. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. They try to not to be outside as much as they can, but unfortunately, with this job, you have to be outside. So.
Oh, I know. And like even yesterday, I noticed that I happened to see a couple of cars that got towed, whether they were broken down and had to be towed or something like that. But the police have to be there to help help the tow folks.
There was a lot of that happening. A lot of people's cars just not starting because it was too cold.
Yeah.
And when it warmed up a little, they started right up. So
yeah,
stubborn, I guess. That
happened to me once several years ago. I had the old WNBP van parked in a spot that I guess it was head on into the wind, and it wouldn't start. Called the tow company. I said, I'm going to try this one more time, and it started.
Yeah.
Once the sun got up, and yeah.
Yeah, it was. With the wind, it was really, really cold.
Yeah.
But with no wind, it was bearable. Now we're in this big heat wave.
I know it's great. You figure out the average temperature, and it's okay.
We're about 40 degrees warmer right now than it was.
Oh, I
those
know.
Weeks.
I know. Now, is something like this, the police cars that you have, where are they maintained?
Well, they're maintained by the DPW.
Okay.
We have the mechanics out the DPW. But we have a garage. I don't know if you've seen the police station down below. There'll be a number 3 in the door. We put 4 cars in there, so we can keep them out of the weather inside. So we try to keep every cruiser that we're not using inside, and the ones on patrol, they're running. So, and they're constantly running 24 hours.
Yeah.
So there's not an issue with starting.
Yeah.
Because they're always on.
That's right.
During that type of weather.
Yeah.
And they're all-wheel drive, so we don't have to deal with the old-fashioned chains we used to have to put on the Crown Vics. Because the Crown Vics were the rear-wheel drive.
Oh, yeah.
And we used to have to put on the chains, and you only could go up to 30 miles per hour on those, or they would break off. So
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was tough.
So
we were always going out to the DPW, having them put our chains on, and so you don't have to deal with that anymore.
Now, when the chains came off and you're driving, what did it sound like?
All you heard is a lot of clanking. Yeah, sometimes it would damage the side of the wheel well, take the paint off.
Yeah.
But I had to do what you had to do. But yeah, I don't miss those days. This all-wheel drive is great, and we have the 4-wheel drive. The Explorers are the 4-wheel drive, and the sedans are all-wheel drive.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, during one of the storms, it must have been the big one that we had all this snow that's now going to be melting. There was an issue over at Plum Island. I heard that it was tough to get the fire people over and police.
Yeah, Plum Island, during high tide, we lost the turnpike, and the water came in the center of Newbury.
Oh.
And also the basin rose. So there were some people down on Old Point Road that the water was coming around their houses, and they actually evacuated a few people.
Yeah.
Just a few.
Okay.
Got a few 911 panic calls, and said the ocean was coming in.
And it was.
But it was that that crazy moon and high tide. So,
yeah.
The worlds kind of collided together a little bit, and But we survived it.
Yeah.
We put the fire department down there, a police cruiser, Newbury had a cruiser down there. There was an ambulance, so we had all sides covered.
Okay.
They were stuck down there from, I think it was 12:30, 12:15 to about 5 o'clock, and then we were able to get on and off.
Yeah, it's it doesn't seem like a long time, but it is when you can't get off.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But most people stayed home, so it was good. It worked out.
That's right. Yeah. Well, coming into a brand new year, usually you have to recertify on a lot of things, and I guess you had some folks that were recently recertified on using the tasers.
Yep, they went through that class back in December. I think it was the end of right before Christmas, like 2 weeks before Christmas. It was a week training. The whole department goes through it. So it's a recertification, and it's classroom, and it's hands-on.
Okay.
Now we're this time of year where it's kind of slow for the police department in a sense. We do our in-service training.
Okay.
So they do that from now until April.
Okay. So in-service training is filling out reports, or
It's legal updates, things like that. It's certain courses are required to take by the Mass Training Council.
Okay.
So they have to keep their certification as police officer. They do this every year.
Is that all kind of part of the accreditation process too?
It's more about being a police officer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you have to maintain your certification as a police officer.
Yeah.
And if you don't do this for 5 years, you have to go back to the academy.
Oh.
So basically, that's why they do it. It's a recert every year.
Yeah.
It's a refresher.
Okay.
Yeah, because things are always changing. You know how the laws are here in the state of Massachusetts.
Oh yeah. Everywhere
Yeah.
they're changing.
Yeah.
Not just Massachusetts.
Right. But
Wow. All right. So we got that certification going on, the recertification for the tasing, and the other updates as well too, and that's important. Now, is it? I just have a question. Is it a positive for a police officer to have a law degree as well too? I know that in some cases, police officers also have a law degree. They don't want to practice law, but at least they know how to read it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, the more education, the better. I'm a firm believer of that. They can't practice criminal law.
Oh,
That's what they cannot do that. They can do any other type of, any other type of law.
like estates and
Yeah,
okay.
real estate, closings, things like that.
Yeah.
And a lot of them do that, but they can't practice the criminal law.
Oh, how about that?
A lot of them go on to after they retire to, continue with that. So it's a great career after policing.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, yeah, because it's you get to work indoors.
Right. Yeah, it's a good thing.
Yeah, that is a good thing. I saw something in the news today that Seabrook selectmen are considering charging for using the jaws of life.
I saw that.
And they tabled it. Right now, they're considering charging Seabrook residents less than charging out-of-town residents if they have to bring out the jaws of life. But $500 to me, that's a lot. But maybe it's not a lot. I don't know.
Yeah, I know those are very expensive. I don't know how to comment on that.
Yeah.
That runs under the fire department.
Sure. Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know what the actual cost is and how you come up with that cost of. Obviously it's manpower, the time it takes to use those to extract somebody. So I don't know how you come up with a price to put on that, but interesting to see how that works out.
Yeah.
And I don't know if are they getting any pushback. I haven't seen that from.
Yeah, I haven't. It was the first I'd heard of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I saw it the other day, so I don't know if there's any comments about it or anything.
Yeah. But an interesting concept.
It is. I mean, because it's getting costly for everything, and these things aren't cheap. So,
Yeah.
I understand it's might be a taxpayer question, right? What are we paying for? But I don't know.
Well, it's kind of similar to when the federal government wants to charge somebody for starting up a forest fire, for
Right.
example.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
how do you figure that out?
Right. I don't know.
How do you pay millions of dollars? And
Right.
Oh, what a mess that would be.
But I know the cost of those are very high. So
Yeah.
And I don't know how much damage, how many times you use them.
Oh, that's right
You know,
too.
what
You
the wear and tear on those are. So that'd be something you can ask the fire chief when he comes on.
yeah.
He's more up on that than I am.
Yeah, I want to find out about that stuff. Yeah, because once they're done with your car, your car's not getting any good.
It's no good. Yeah. It's going to be put in a little cube after that. But
And even that is a hard thing to do too. Back to the old WNBP van, I remember when it went on to its final resting ground. All the fluids had to be drained and all that stuff.
Right.
They can't just squish it.
Nope. All the environmental things you have to go through before that. So
Yeah. Neat. All right. Well, one thing I noticed today too, with the melting that's going on, there's a little warning out for motorists that watch out for the ice because the melting, and then as the temperatures will go down, it does ice up.
right. Yep. It's going to happen. I mean, at nighttime it's going to freeze up, the black ice. So just be aware when you're driving around.
Yeah.
If you see a dark spot, don't think it's water. Could be ice. So
That's right.
just be careful. That's all.
All right. Well, Mark, I want to thank you for joining us today, and we'll get you back in next month and see what's going on. And I know you're into your budget season now.
Just started.
Oh boy.
Yeah. We'll talk about that next time maybe.
Yeah. Although it's not exciting, but
No.
but it's something that you have to do. I
That's
guess.
right. That's right. It's important.
Yeah. Just put all the numbers through again, bump them up 10%, and then say, well, I cut it back. You can do that.
We'll see.
Yeah, we will see. All right. Thank you so much. Mark Murray, Newburyport City Marshal, our guest this morning here on WJOP Radio 96.3 FM, as well as Comcast Channel 9 in Newburyport.